Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I can't believe it. I just posted a video talking about Estonia scolding the French President Emmanuel Macron. And in Estonia, I'm talking about the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister of Estonia scolded the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, for talking too much to Putin. Oh, no, not too much, all the time. And why would they talk to Putin since he's a war criminal? So that Estonian leader, the leader of a country that I don't know how important this leader thinks that they are, but I think they are because I think the Baltic states plus Poland are the tip of a spear of the guys from across the Atlantic. So they are very bold and very violent in their verbal communication with whomever. And Putin is not enough for them now, so they now turn into Macron. That was the Estonian prime minister. And now we have another city-sized country called Lithuania. And they just watch the news. You're going to have the Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland. These guys will be the most aggressive countries in their verbal attacks towards Russia and everybody else if they have a problem. And I don't understand. Those three Baltic states are together, the population is 5 million people. 5 million, it's a city. It's a town, city. And Poland, I don't know, Poland has other problems. But we're going to talk about that some other time. I understand they have a problem with the Russians, but they also have problems with Ukrainians. They have problems with Hungarians. They have problems with Germans. They even have problems with the Baltic states. They have problems with everybody. Go and speak with regular Poles and ask them, hey, do you love Romanians? Do you love Hungarians? And they're going to say, it depends how long he knows you. But probably he's going to have balls to say, no, nobody likes anybody here because of the history between all these countries. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. So this comes from Reuters, and it's by Robin Emmett and Sabine Siebold for May 16th, 2022. I was already in 20. So May 16th, and EU ministers urge Hungary to sign up to planned Russian oil embargo. And we have this person here, Lithuanian foreign minister, Landsbergis. So this is a very young person. I think he has some family connections, if I remember correctly. You can check him out. He's very verbal. He's very tough, this person. And he's he's a foreign minister. Okay, well, I don't know about you guys, but okay, I'll leave it for some other time. Brussels, EU foreign minister sought to publicly pressure Hungary on Monday to lift its veto on a proposed oil embargo on Russia, with Lithuania saying the bloc was being, and I'm quoting, held hostage by one member state, end quote. Well, you little guy, you have to think that Hungary thinks for Hungarians first, and they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot like the rest of you. And you have a problem with that. And what do? You try to shame them. Well, you can call them out. That's fine. That's fine. But just remember that other countries choose to put their people first and not your masters first. And this is Hungary. So this little prime minister, Landsbergis, he's just playing a role here, a part, like the guy in Ukraine as well. And when his time will be due, he's gonna be walking into the sunset. That's what it is. So he right now plays just a tip of the spear. He's poking things, like he's gonna convince the Hungarians to say, okay, for you we do it. We're gonna shoot ourselves in the foot. The embargo proposed by the European Commission in early May would be the harshest sanction yet after Moscow's February 24th invasion of Ukraine, and includes carve-outs for EU states most dependent on Russian oil. Germany, the European Union's biggest economy and a major buyer of Russian energy, they shot themselves in the foot already, like they're wounded, they're bleeding to death. And a major buyer of Russian energy said it wanted a deal to authorize the oil embargo, which is suggested could last for years. Yeah, and I'm quoting. I'm confident that we will find agreement in the coming days. German Foreign Minister, another one, Bert Bock, said as she arrived for a meeting with her counterparts. We need to prepare it extremely well because it needs to be sustainable. Okay, good. But Hungary, Moscow's closest ally, maybe I would say independent country, but they want to put a bad connotation on Hungary. That's the purpose of this article, among others. So he is the closest ally in the EU, has said it wants hundreds of millions of euros for the bloc to migrate the cost of ditching Russian crude. Yeah, I want my money if you want me to stop buying from those guys. How about that? How are you going to replace that? Are you? I want you to replace that. I want to pay me. My citizens will be suffering, and then they will vote against me for your guy. I don't want to do that. That was Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, by the way. The EU needs all 27 states to agree to the embargo for it to go ahead. And then we have the Italy's Prime Minister, Mario Draghi, who said, oh, I think this kind with veto doesn't sit well because we're losing here. So let's make it more like a majority. If it doesn't go that way, in the first thing here, they want to get away with veto. Just forget about the veto. Let's make a majority because, we don't need a consensus here. It doesn't work that way, boy. It doesn't, and it shouldn't. Why should I go with you when I have my people here? Tomorrow you're going to have a crazy idea and you're going to have a majority and then going to impose that on me? Now you say, well, democracy. Wait a second. Democracy has limits. If you have a crazy society and it gets to vote as a majority to, let's say, eliminate some kind of people in the society, would democracy work? What would you do then? What would you do then? So see, things get crazy. You can have examples in history. By the way, if you want to talk about it, the German Nationalist People's Party, Workers' Party was democratically elected. So what do you want? When you talk about democracy, we have examples. We have the union, the whole, and I'm quoting, this Gabrielus Landsbergis said, the whole union is being held hostage by one member state. We have to agree we cannot be held hostage. Lithuanian Foreign Minister, blah, 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 said. So if you can't afford, you can't be held hostage. What do you propose? What's your proposal? If the country is not going to, say, I don't want to, I'm going to veto. What do you propose to do with that person, with that country? What's your next move? Can you guess? It's not going to be a democratic one, or if it's going to be a democratic one, it's going to be like the one that I mentioned 35 seconds before. Oh, man. So, a few ministers directly called Hungary out by name as they spoke to reporters, but Romania said it was up to the bloc to bring Budapest around. Romania, there you are. Hello. So look at these guys. It was up to the bloc to bring Budapest round. Okay. Hungarian Foreign Minister Petr Szarto, a very smart guy, said on his Facebook page on May 11th that there is no solution in sight. He said the government of Prime Minister Viktor Orban needed hundreds of millions of dollars for Hungarian refineries, a capacity increased for a Croatian pipeline, and compensation for the Hungarian economy. However, EU minister ranging from Austria to Estonia, big countries, said they would still be on oil embargo, even if it took longer to come to an agreement. Great. Your population will love you for that. Will love you. An oil embargo already imposed by the United States and Britain, all right, and which would follow 5 rounds of earlier EU sanctions, is seen as the best way to reduce Russian income for its war in Ukraine. But remember who has the highest inflation nowadays? You know whose currency is tanking? Is not the ruble. So who's shooting who? So let's make some more of the same thing, right? Because it works. Anyway, this is what it is with this guy. Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, they are big pushers and very aggressive countries. And they can be. they can be. I just noticed that, and I pointed it out. I haven't heard anything from Spain. Have you? Almost nothing from Spain. Is Spain not around? Is it dead? What's wrong with it? But nevertheless, we have these guys here talking like crazy. Don't give me the, they're on the other side of the continent, they don't care. Well, I didn't hear about Croatia, not really. It's a small country, right? Romania, who's usually yapping, but they know better, or maybe they do stuff, and when they're quiet, when the Romanians are quiet, that means they're doing some dealings underneath the table. So, okay, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting to be called out by the Russians or by other ones too. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya.